Have fruits that naturally boost testosterone after 60. You might be surprised, but the answer is yes, and they could already be sitting in your kitchen. Hi, I'm Bon, and this is the Bon Senior Health Channel, where we dive into natural, no-nonsense ways to stay strong, energized, and confident after 60. I started this journey not because I had all the answers, but because I was asking the same questions many men do. Why, despite eating well and exercising regularly, was I still feeling low on energy? Why did my motivation fade in the afternoons? Why did intimacy start to feel like a memory instead of a part of my life? So I did what any man would do. I looked for answers. I spoke with a doctor I trust, and then I started researching on my own. What I discovered blew me away. It turns out there are 5 specific fruits that don't just help your body function better, they actually support natural testosterone levels and overall vitality, especially for men over 60. These aren't exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. They're regular fruits, ones you can find at your local market, and when used together, they can help you regain a sense of strength and drive you may have thought was gone for good. All of this is backed by research and real stories from men like you and me who decided to take a more natural route. I also have put everything I learned into a simple, free ebook designed specifically for you. Senior Health Tips. It's yours just for watching to the end of this video. No catch, no spam, just clear, helpful information you can start using right away. So if you're tired of quick fixes and are ready to make a real, lasting change, stick with me. Make sure to hit subscribe and tap the bell icon, because here at Bon Senior Health Channel, we're building a community of men who believe it's never too late to feel like yourself again. Drop a comment with the number 1 if this resonates with you, or let me know what you're still looking for. I read and replied to every comment. The first fruit we need to talk is bold, bright red, and packed with life. Some call it the heart fruit, and for good reason. It's been linked to stronger circulation, better mood, and even a natural boost in testosterone. Number 1, pomegranate, the red jewel that's been overlooked for far too long. Now, I didn't always pay attention to this fruit either, but after learning what it does inside the body, especially for men our age, it quickly earned a spot on my breakfast table. One study from Queen Margaret University in the UK caught my attention. Researchers found that men who drank pure pomegranate juice daily for just 2 weeks saw their salivary testosterone increase by up to 24%. That's a big deal, especially when you consider how hard it is to support testosterone naturally without synthetic treatments. But why does pomegranate have this effect? It comes down to the antioxidants specifically, a group called polyphenols. These compounds fight oxidative stress and help reduce levels of cortisol, the hormone most often linked to chronic stress. And if there's one thing we've learned about cortisol, it's this: when it's high, testosterone suffers. So by lowering cortisol and improving blood flow, pomegranate creates the ideal conditions for your body to perform like it used to, with better energy, mood, and drive. Personally, I started with 100 to 150 ml of pure pomegranate juice every morning. Some mornings, I switch it up and eat half a fresh pomegranate after breakfast, seeds and all. It's simple, tastes great. And over time, I noticed I wasn't just feeling sharper mentally, I felt more balanced, more grounded, more alive. This wasn't about chasing youth. It was about reclaiming vitality. Naturally, so if you've been feeling off, more tired, more stressed, Less like yourself, maybe your body's trying to tell you something. Maybe it's time to give it what it really needs. Start small. Start simple. Try adding pomegranate to your morning routine. Let's keep going because the next fruit might surprise you even more. It doesn't look exotic. It's not rare. In fact, it's probably sitting on your kitchen counter right now. Number 2, banana, the quiet powerhouse that does a whole lot more than just fuel your morning jog. As men, we're often told to toughen it out when we're tired, unmotivated, or even feeling disconnected from our partners. But behind that lack of drive is often something very real: low dopamine levels. Dopamine is the brain's feel-good chemical. It's what drives desire, motivation, joy, even that spark that keeps intimacy alive. But here's the catch: as we age, dopamine production can drop significantly, especially when stress, poor sleep, or hormone changes are in the mix. That's where the banana shines. Bananas are a rich, natural source of vitamin B6, which plays a key role in helping your body produce dopamine. Without enough B6, even the best workouts, best diets, or most expensive supplements won't fully land because your brain chemistry is missing its foundation. After learning this, I started paying closer attention to how I felt throughout the day, mentally and emotionally. And I noticed something interesting. When I added a banana to my morning routine, either after breakfast or right before a light workout, I felt clearer, more upbeat, and surprisingly more present. But the banana's benefits don't stop with mood. It also plays a quiet but powerful role in supporting natural testosterone. That's thanks to an enzyme called bromelain, found in bananas and also in pineapples. Bromelain has been linked to promoting the body's ability to maintain testosterone levels, which is essential not just for physical strength, but also emotional balance and libido. And let's not forget about potassium and magnesium, 2 minerals bananas deliver in abundance. These nutrients are vital for healthy blood pressure, steady energy, and proper nervous system function. They're also deeply tied to the endocrine system, the part of the body that manages hormones. In other words, bananas support the brain, the heart, the hormones, and they do it all in one simple, easy-to-enjoy package. This isn't hype. It's not about biohacking or chasing unrealistic results. It's about feeding your body what it already understands, what it already responds to, what it's been quietly asking for. You don't need a complex routine or a total lifestyle overhaul. Try adding a banana to your morning routine. Give it a week or two, and notice how your mind and body respond when you give them the right support the kind nature already intended. Because sometimes the difference between feeling older and feeling alive again is just one piece of fruit away. The third fruit in this powerful trio isn't some rare exotic berry or trendy supplement. It's something far more familiar, and yet most men overlook its potential. Number 3, watermelon, a natural powerhouse for blood flow and performance. Let me tell you about Carlos, a retired music teacher, 71 years old. He reached out to me after watching a video I shared about men's health. What he said hit me hard. I feel like I've quietly become someone else. I'm not sharp, not confident, and things aren't working like they used to. You could hear the frustration in his voice. He wasn't complaining, he just missed feeling like himself. Carlos thought it was just part of aging. But the real issue wasn't his age, it was his circulation. This is where watermelon comes in. Watermelon is rich in citrulline, a natural amino acid that your body turns into arginine, which then increases nitric oxide, the molecule that helps blood vessels relax and expand. Think of nitric oxide like your body's natural signal to open the gates. The more open those blood vessels are, the better the blood flow, especially in the areas where men need it most. When circulation improves, so does firmness, endurance, and overall vitality. And here's what's amazing. In one clinical study, men who drank pure watermelon juice daily for 2 weeks showed significant improvements in the quality and duration of their erections without medication, without side effects. Carlos took that study seriously. He started each day with a small glass, about 200 milliliters of fresh watermelon juice. Nothing added. Within a few days, he felt lighter. By the end of the second week, he came back and said something I won't forget. "I feel like me again. My wife's been giving me that look I haven't seen in years." He laughed when he said it, but I could see something had shifted, not just physically, but mentally. His posture had changed. He walked with confidence. All that from one fruit. No gimmicks, no risky treatments, just giving the body the raw materials it needs to function properly. Watermelon also protects the inner lining of your arteries by fighting oxidative stress, helping you stay healthy at the core. It's not just about intimacy, it's about energy, heart health, and confidence in everyday life. If you're feeling like you've lost a step, don't rush to blame your age. Start with your circulation. Start with what's simple. Start with watermelon. This next fruit might surprise you, not because it's rare or hard to find, but because most men walk past it in the grocery store without giving it a second thought. Number 4, blueberries. Simple, familiar, and often underestimated. But for men over 60 looking to restore balance, sharpen their minds, and support natural testosterone levels, blueberries are more than just a snack. They're tools. I remember a quiet conversation with Eduardo. He was 67, a retired architect. Tall, lean, always well-dressed. He stuck to a clean diet, walked most mornings, and even lifted light weights a few times a week. In many ways, Eduardo was doing everything right. But that day, his voice dropped a little lower, and he said something I didn't expect. "I don't feel like a man anymore." He wasn't trying to be dramatic. He wasn't even complaining. What he was talking about was the quiet shift so many men experience after 60, not just in energy or strength, but in identity. He felt like he was still showing up to life, but something essential had faded. That internal drive, that clarity, that subtle edge that once made him feel solid, focused, sure of himself. Eduardo's story isn't rare. Men in their 60s and 70s often describe this same quiet loss. The decline in testosterone doesn't just affect the body, it alters the way a man feels in his skin, in his decisions, in his sense of purpose. And while many think this decline is simply a part of aging, the truth is more hopeful than that. Because part of what chips away at testosterone isn't age alone, it's stress, inflammation, and poor nutrient absorption over time. Things we can actually do something about. And this is where blueberries come in. Inside those small, deep blue skins are compounds called anthocyanins. These are powerful antioxidants that help lower chronic inflammation in the body, the same type of inflammation that slowly wears down hormone production and regulation. Think of inflammation like corrosion inside your system. You might not feel it directly, but it's weakening your foundation. Blueberries also contain magnesium and vitamin C, both of which play crucial roles in maintaining healthy testosterone. Magnesium especially helps your body support free testosterone, the kind that actually makes a difference in how you feel. It also helps with better sleep and muscle function. Vitamin C supports adrenal health and helps manage cortisol, the hormone that rises when we're stressed and suppresses testosterone when left unchecked. What makes blueberries so effective isn't just one single benefit. It's the way they quietly support multiple systems at once: your hormones, your brain, your stress levels, your recovery. When Eduardo started including blueberries in his daily routine, it wasn't complicated. No strict meal plan, no expensive supplements. He just added a small bowl of blueberries in the morning, sometimes with yogurt, sometimes on their own. Within about a week, he noticed he wasn't hitting that mid-afternoon slump anymore. He said his thoughts were clearer, his patience was better, and he didn't feel as flat as he had for months. But what really stuck with me was what he said after 2 weeks. It's not that I feel young again, I just feel like me again. That one sentence stayed with me, because for so many men over 60, that's really what they're searching for: not to be 25 again, but to feel aligned, grounded, present, to wake up with clarity, to move through the day with energy that lasts, to feel steady in body and in mind. Blueberries aren't magic, but they don't need to be. Sometimes the most powerful change comes from something simple, done consistently, especially when that something helps clear out what's been slowing you down. Blueberries support the very systems that matter most to aging men: hormone production, blood pressure, brain function, and inflammation. They don't shout, they don't promise quick results, but over time they help your body remember what it's capable of. For Eduardo, and for many men I've spoken to since, this one fruit quietly opened the door to feeling whole again. Final fruit, mango, sweet, golden, and soft to the touch. It's the kind of fruit most of us associate with summer desserts or vacation smoothies. But for men over 60, this everyday fruit carries something far more valuable than taste. It holds energy. Not the jittery kind you get from caffeine, not the artificial kind from sugar spikes that crash within an hour, but real, cellular level energy, the kind that helps you stand up straighter, think more clearly, and move through the day without dragging your feet. That's exactly what Raphael was missing. He's 74, a retired professor, the kind of man who used to walk into a room and naturally command attention, not by speaking loudly, but because his presence carried weight. But when I met him, something had changed. He told me, without hesitation, I woke up already tired. That kind of fatigue, deep, persistent, and quiet, is something many seniors know too well. It's not just physical exhaustion, it's a mental fog, emotional weariness, a slow erosion of energy that makes even the smallest tasks feel like a burden. He wasn't sick. His blood tests looked fine, but every part of him was saying something wasn't right. I asked him what he usually ate in the morning. He smiled and said, sometimes coffee, sometimes nothing. For years, he'd been starting the engine without fuel. And after 60, the body doesn't run on momentum anymore. It needs a clear signal, something simple but powerful, something that tells your cells, your brain, your heart, your muscles that it's time to function. That signal, for Raphael, turned out to be half a mango. Here's why. Mangoes are rich in natural carbohydrates that the body can absorb slowly and use efficiently. They don't spike blood sugar. Instead, they feed the mitochondria, the little engines inside every cell, with just enough fuel to keep them running clean and steady. But that's just the surface. Inside mangoes, you'll also find vitamin C and potassium, two nutrients that protect arteries, regulate blood pressure, and help maintain healthy circulation. And circulation matters. It's what moves oxygen, nutrients, and yes, testosterone to the parts of the body that need it most. Even more quietly, mangoes support mood and mental clarity. They contain B vitamins like B6, which play a role in producing dopamine and serotonin, the neurotransmitters responsible for motivation, focus, and emotional balance. So when Raphael began adding mango to his breakfast, just a few slices, paired with water or plain yogurt, the shift was noticeable. He wasn't suddenly bursting with energy. It was more subtle than that. He said, "It feels like I'm moving with myself again, instead of against." No crashes mid-morning, no foggy lull in the afternoon. His energy had a rhythm again, not too fast, not too slow, just steady. For men in their 60s and 70s, that kind of rhythm is often the difference between just getting through the day and actually showing up for it. Mango doesn't shout. It doesn't promise anything dramatic. But when used right, it quietly supports the foundation of what vitality really is: energy, stability, and a sense of presence in your own life. It's a fruit that reminds your body what it's capable of, not by pushing harder, but by fueling smarter. And sometimes that's exactly what's been missing. So far, we've uncovered 5 powerhouse fruits that do far more than just fill your stomach. They rebuild you. This isn't a theory. This is based on what I've seen with men like Carlos, Eduardo, and Raphael, real guys in their 60s and 70s who saw real changes by making small, powerful shifts. And here's your action plan to start tomorrow morning: the Morning Vigor Ritual. Drink 200 milliliters of pure watermelon juice right after waking up. It opens your arteries, boosts blood flow, and helps nitric oxide do its job. Follow it with half a mango and a handful of blueberries, fresh or frozen. This combo delivers natural sugars for energy, antioxidants for hormone protection, and vitamins that work together to reduce stress and keep your engine running smooth all day long. Simple, natural, 0 pills. 5 minutes. You're not chasing youth. You're reclaiming vitality, and that changes everything. If this message speaks to you, I'd love to ask one favor: share this video. And think of one man in your life, a brother, a friend, a father who needs to know that strength doesn't have an age limit. Then drop a comment below and tell me, what's your biggest health challenge right now? I read and replied to every comment, and every question helps me create the next video that can truly make a difference. Now I want to give something back. As a thank you for being here, I've put all this into a free ebook called Senior Health Tips, made specifically for those over 60 who want to feel strong, clear, and confident again. It's personal, it's practical, and it's 100% free.